Here we go then, the Belgian Grand Prix and sprint race number 1 of the season after pretty much going past the halfway point. Round 10 is sprint race number 1 and this could be massive in the championship. There's a lot of points up for grabs this weekend and we have to deliver. So guys, if you haven't seen the last episode, go check it out, the return of the French Grand Prix, link in the top right. It was a very wet race, a lot of rain, so go see it. Spoiler warning ahead. So yeah, first things first, confirmation of the suspension geometry, which is an ultimate upgrade for the chassis, which gives us better tyre wear, which could be massive in terms of our strategies for the rest of the season. Now, we arrive at Spa. No more updates because we don't have enough R&D points to purchase any upgrades right now. This weekend, we're going to run the new format, which you guys voted on at the start of the season / end of last season. So basically, we're going to run a short qualifying session for the sprint race weekend. So yeah, 15-60 minutes of qualifying. We're going to go flat out and see what happens. If we look at the performance chart with that upgrade on the car, we now overtake Red Bull and we are the best team, best car on the grid. So that is a real bit of history. We haven't had that so far, so I'm glad we've got there as we look at the championship standings. Now, we won the last race. We picked up a dominant win in the rain in France and we got ourselves right back in the mix. We're 10 points behind Russell in P3. Work to be done to catch the top 2. In the constructors, we're near enough 100 points away, so we have to try and cut the gap to Red Bull, who seem to be a bit stronger than Mercedes in the last couple of races. Mercedes seem to have just dropped back a little bit and lost some of that momentum they had at the start of the season, especially with Charles Leclerc. Now, for this weekend, because of the new format, I'm actually going to switch up the order. So we're going to go for qualifying first and then practice second. So straight to qualifying, and as you can see, 14 minutes on the clock, and we're going to get straight into the action then. So our first time lap was actually going okay up until Pouan. We ran a bit wide, didn't quite get the line right, and that was a hefty mistake to make as Verstappen sets the benchmark with a 36.5. We're going to try and close out the lap here though and see what we do as a banker, even with that mistake in Pouan, just to see what we're going to do. I wasn't really happy with the rest of the lap. It was a bit scruffy in certain places, so I actually decided to go again. So we're going to go for 2 consecutive laps here, especially because there may be rain based off the mixed dynamic forecast. We didn't get a weather forecast this weekend, so I don't actually know what it's going to be. A bit like in France in the last race, it was a bit of a guess, and it's cloudy skies, so I'm not going to take any chances. So we're going to go for another lap just to be sure, and you can see we're finding time already in that area where we made a mistake last time. Up until that point, it was pretty neck and neck. Like I said, the lap wasn't too bad last time around, but we found time in the second half of the lap, and you can see now through the bus stop chicane we find an extra couple attempts as we close out the lap and improve by pretty much 3/4 of a second and move to P3 behind the Red Bulls, who look very quick. It looks ominously quick for them. So yeah, straight back to the garage. I went to change tires, and if you look at the bottom of the screen, it says rain in 5 minutes. So we are going to go straight back out and not take a risk. We're going to get a weather report on the radio just to confirm what the weather situation is at this point.
It looks like rain is inbound and we're expecting it in around 5 minutes. 5 minutes until the rain.
So yeah, this is pretty much going to be it. Our last qualifying run. Rain is pretty much imminent, so a bit like in France, we have to try and deliver a lap time before the rain disrupts the session. We bolted it last time badly and it cost us pole, so hopefully this time it doesn't cost us. So turn 1 on the anchors down a 3rd gear, getting the power down on the exit, and we're up by half a tenth already. So a good start to the lap as we get a nice run through turn 1, up through Eau Rouge and Raidillon, trying to minimize wheel input, wheel lock, and keeping it as straight as possible through here and carrying the speed onto the Camel Straight, getting the DRS open straight away, which gains us a little bit of time compared to my previous lap. Now making our way into Les Combes. This is where I can find some time if I really throw the car in, and you can see we're 2 tenths up, but we invalidate again. Another mistake under pressure from the weather forecast, trying to make a lap, and it's gone wrong, and pretty much that was it. The rain arrived, job done. No one else got any more runs in. It was over. So luckily, in a way, we got let off the hook with a pretty average lap time. We just got P5, but it could have been more. How much more? I don't really know. I reckon P4 might have been the best. It felt like Lando, Max and Sergio were just a bit too quick for me. So the best we could have done was get Alonso, I reckon, in P4. So it does seem like it's Red Bull versus McLaren here at Spa, and Mercedes don't seem as far. So again, kind of reconfirming, like I said before, they seem to have dropped off a little bit and just are generally lacking a bit of pace. And also Alonso, by the way, in the last couple of races, completely turned the tables on Sainz. So yeah, quickly, just to mention, we now have a rival in the form of Verstappen. It got automatically chosen by the game. I've been basically declining picking a rival, so the game has chosen Verstappen, which is a bad thing because when you pick a rival, that driver gets a bit of a performance increase. So Verstappen's probably the one driver I don't want in this situation. So news to me, I didn't know that the game would automatically pick one, so I'll bear that in mind for next time. But Max is going to be pretty much on steroids for the next couple of races, so that is not really ideal. Anyway, we went through FP2, got the practice programs done. Tyre wear is actually very low, and fuel consumption is surprisingly low as well, so I think it could be a good weekend for us, but I still don't know where we're looking pace-wise, so it's a bit open yet. We'll see what happens. Either way, a decent qualifying, a smooth practice session. We've got both cars in the top 5, and we've now got a sprint, so hopefully we can do some damage and see if we can set up the race in a better position than we're currently starting it from in the sprint. So guys, job done. Let's get into it and let's see what happens. Here we go then. Time for part 1 of the racing action this weekend. This is the sprint, currently on the formation lap. Now, Alonso has chosen the medium. I think everybody else in the top 10 is on softs. I've gone for the soft as well. It's pretty decent for tyre wear, and we should also get this tyre out of the way now, save the harder compounds for the main race, and yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, it all works out well. So yeah, Lando P2, I'm hoping he actually shows a bit of pace this race and we can really have a good weekend and, you know, do some damage, because a sprint weekend is a great chance to really claw back some points in the championship. So no excuses, we're going to give it everything we've got, and hopefully we come away with maximum points after the sprint and after the main race. Anyway, let's line her up and get our grid slot, and then we'll get ready for the start process. Perfect. Right, let's do this. Alonso should get a bad start, hopefully on mediums. Oh wow, so does everyone. Verstappen has a stinker. Whoa, what a start. Up the inside. And it's McLaren 1-2.
The energy stores depleting, reducing our overall capacity. The more charge you hold, the faster that capacity will drop.
Yeah, we are very limited in terms of charge. The Red Bulls going side by side through a Rouge and Radion behind. We're now going to get into a drag race. I'm going to keep the battery on. Verstappen with nowhere to go. Perez goes back through. Verstappen follows. Going to try and see if I can keep Verstappen at bay. He runs wide. Have to take evasive action. But crucially, it's P3. And crucially, Lando this time gets a good start and gets P1. So let's see. Verstappen was super quick in qualifying. We're going to have to work really hard here. It's going to be a good old-fashioned Red Bull versus McLaren in this one. So let's see if we can try and get the tyres fired up and stick with Perez. AI seem pretty strong here, so we're going to have to work hard for this. It's not going to be easy. Just hope Lando can make it work this time and not drop off the pace and struggle. Let's see. It's going to be a very intense sprint race, this one. I think we're a bit too high on wings. So we'll have to bear that in mind for the rest of the weekend. So we're going to have to work extra hard in the corners to try and make the extra wing work. I think it'll actually benefit us though long term once tyre wear kicks in. I could be wrong. I'm hoping that that's the case.
Okay, DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Hoping we do enough. That wasn't a good exit, but we're going to have DRS on Perez, which is great. I'm very, very tight on battery already. I'm hoping also that AS pace drops a bit now. As lap 3 usually they kind of calm down a bit. But yeah, you'll see Verstappen here just take out chunks out of the gap. So quick on the straight. Okay, we're going to lose DRS on Perez, who is now pressuring Lando. So Red Bull seem to have the edge. Verstappen also now closing in on us, and we'll have a bit of a run. Perez goes for the move on Lando, but backs out. Lando locks up. Mistake, but that's going to bring us back into play. We're not going to have DRS. If I can get ahead of Perez, we can work as a team, and I might be able to help get this 1-2. But Red Bull are quicker than both of us, and it shows. Decent turn one though. Let's see if I can challenge Perez here. Just stay in the slipstream. We may actually catch Lando here, to be fair. We just don't have, you can see we're just struggling on the straight. We have no straight line speed at all. Perez is closing, but doesn't get close enough. Perez going for it. Again, backs out. If I can just get a good enough exit here, get really close into one, this might work. Straight through. Could have done better there trying to make in the apex, but crucially, we've got Perez. It's a 1-2, and to be fair, I don't mind finishing behind Norris. I'm happy to work here to keep both Red Bulls behind, which is more important because we want to try and limit the points they get. Here comes Perez to the inside. We're going to have to get the battery on here. This is going to be very close. Around the outside we go, which gives us the inside through the next one, and we hold on. What would be nice if the Red Bulls battled amongst themselves and lost a bit of time, but this 1-2 is necessary for us now. Also, the reason we're going to hold on to this is because I'm very good through turn one. It's my strongest corner of the entire track. I'm able to brake later than the AI, turn better, and get a better exit. So it's going to take the pressure off. You can see Perez loses too much time, so he's just not close enough on the Camel Straight to challenge. So I think we can hold on to this now, barring any mistakes or disasters. Perez pulls alongside. We're going to have to burn the battery here to try and hold it down. Perez actually slows down a bit, then hits the brake slightly. We're going to go around the outside of Blanchimont, and we're going to hold the line into the bus stop. Just 2 more laps of this and we'll be okay. Lando's doing a decent job. Lost a bit of time in late com, which I had to check up with, but we are just too high on wing. I'm just too high. It's going to be really tough this weekend. Even the race is going to be even tougher than this, so it's even more the reason why we have to do well in the sprint, and we're actually going to maybe drop Perez out of DRS here, so that might help. But yeah, it's critical now that we get this 1-2 because I'm not sure if we'll be able to replicate this in the main race. Now then, do I want to pass Lando here, or do I want to secure the result for the team?
Okay, we've only got 1 lap of fuel remaining.
I'm going to sit behind. I don't trust Lando to get ahead of Verstappen. Verstappen's pushing now, by the way. He's using battery, so we're going to have to get close. But yeah, I'd rather secure this result for the team. I feel like if I pass Norris, he's going to mess up the line, and then he could be vulnerable on the back straight down to the bus stop. So I'm not taking that chance, especially because Verstappen has passed Perez, so Verstappen's a more aggressive driver. It's too risky. Again, I don't care so much for the drivers. I want to win that Constructors title, so we're playing the team game here. If this was the main race, I might consider, stabbing in the back and getting those points if we're there on lap 22. But for now, playing the team game. Verstappen very close here on the exit of Pouhon. We're going to have to use the battery. Verstappen gets to the outside. We're going to hold the inside though and hold our own. And actually Perez battling now with Verstappen. That's going to take the pressure off, and that is going to lock in the sprint. Verstappen holds on the third. Perez will get the extra point, which is not ideal, but can't complain. Verstappen's going to get a late run here. I'm using all the battery I've got. Lando's out of battery, he's dry. So we're going to catch him rapidly here. Going to defend from Verstappen. And there we go, job done. So 1-2 for us. Not in the race, but we'll take it in the sprint. Can we replicate that in the main race? We're about to find out. Either way, we needed that, finally.
Yes, nice work, mate. You did a really good job today. Pretty sure the boss is going to be happy with that one.
Welcome then, as we take a step back into the nostalgic golden days of motorsport. Spa is unashamedly a throwback, and all the better for it. Climbs, drops, sharp turns, chicanes, sweeping high-speed corners, all while taking in some of the most beautiful scenery that Europe has to offer. This might sound like a travel brochure, but it's not. It's a race day. Welcome along to Spa-Francorchamps for the Belgian Grand Prix. Spa-Francorchamps today, a circuit that spans 4.35 miles. There are tons of elevation changes along the way too. 19 corners making up this circuit, with 9 of those to the right and the remaining 10 to the left. This track's a great one for fans of pure speed, and the average lap speed comes close to a whopping 145 miles per hour. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and Martinez completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, Fernando Alonso, Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, Sainz, Ocon, Gasly, Drugovich, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Albon, Russell, Magnussen, Mick Schumacher, Joe, Sargent, and Nico Hülkenberg rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat is Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching out for as they head into turn 1?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn 1 as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
Right then, here we go. Time for the main race. Good news, Lando's on pole. No grid penalties for him, which is something I was worried about low-key in the back of my mind heading into the race. So, front row lockout. Hopefully, we can convert. Now, I'm not going to lie, there's a bit of an element here which I'm debating in my head. So, rain. We have rain at the end of the race, which maybe could arrive a bit earlier. So, in this one, my main interest is to get a 1-2 finish, but if it comes down to it, I want to win the race and make sure we lock in those points. So, I'm going to start on mediums. The game recommends starting on softs, which tells me that AI are probably going to go on softs to start the race with, so we may be at a disadvantage. That's my prediction. Anyway, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to go mediums, and with the possibility of making them last all the way up until the rain. So, hopefully that works out. I'm going to go for that strategy. We're lacking straight line speed. Once the rain arrives, we should be quick. We've been quick in the rain, so that's a good thing for us. Hopefully that arrives as soon as possible. Fuel-wise, I'm going for 43 kg, which is a little bit over what the race strategy program said. And because of that rain, I may just go a touch lower, just to shave off a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to go in the medium and run with it. I'm confident. We may struggle to hold on to the pace, but I'm hoping it's a few medium runners mixed in and we can, do our thing. So, yeah, the key thing, hopefully Lando holds on to first place, drives away, and if I can hold up some cars and let him drive off, then so be it. But yeah, let's get into it and let's hopefully secure a 1-2 finish. Now, interestingly, to my surprise, Lando's on the same tyre, and so is Verstappen. Perez Alonso on softs, and I'm not sure what the rest is behind that, but if the front three can stay as is, we could definitely recreate the scenario of the sprint where we basically, can act as a blockade, if you will, to Lando so that no one can get past. So, let's see. Right, here we go. I missed my grid box, which isn't ideal. Away we go. Need a good start, and it is from both of us. Trying to choose a line here. I could have gone around the outside, but I want Lando to get ahead. We'll get the drive, and we'll get back ahead of Verstappen.
Reducing our overall capacity. The more charge you hold, the faster that capacity will drop.
We just react in time there to stop Verstappen going through. Although we may not be able to stop him here, though. This may be tricky. No, Verstappen goes, and Perez is following. Red Bull side by side, Perez goes through. Verstappen holds on. Oh, this is sketchy. Didn't want Verstappen going through, but I couldn't really stop it. Just, didn't have a straight line speed. I was going flat out. They are going to be very hard to stop in the first couple laps, especially using full power mode. They're literally unbeatable. Just got to try and defend and do what I can, although keeping soft tyre runners behind is going to be very, very difficult, especially a soft Red Bull. That's going to be tough. I'm going to have to do everything I can. Verstappen's going to be so quick and may well get after Lando here. Right, take a breath. Perez back for more, but we should be able to hold our own through this part of the lap. Yep, there we go. Verstappen's got some real strong pace. He's got very good straight line speed, even over Lando, not just me. That Red Bull is fast in the straight, and Verstappen's going through here. This will bring us into play, so we may get a chance. If Lando can hold on, which he can't, we may have had a chance to get back into play there. Verstappen into P1. Maybe Lando with some DRS on the Kemmel straight may re-challenge, and we can maybe challenge with him. Let's see.
Okay, DRS is now available.
Mediums are actually pretty decent. I know for a fact they're a good race tyre here. Lando's had a bad exit though out of turn 1. Verstappen's completely driven away. Let's see if Lando can get close. I don't think he can though. Checo's going to be a threat as well. Trying to wait for the last second to get my battery on. There goes Checo. We'll hold the inside line. There we go. Good defence. Alright, Lando, let's see what you got. Let's see what kind of pace you have up your sleeve. Lando's corner exits are really, really poor. Out of the bus stop, and also out of turn 1. Verstappen just drives off to the point where I don't know if Lando's going to have the DRS in this lap, so I may have to pass him to stick with Verstappen. Might be a sacrifice worth making. Okay, Lando's still got DRS, so we'll hang back for now. Don't defend Lando, you're defending thin air, mate. Come on. Track limit warning. So Norris is out of DRS range of Verstappen now. So we're going to have to get ready for the pass. We'll set him up and get him probably in the Kemmel straight. If it was anyone else, I'd probably lunge into turn 1, but I don't want to ruin his race. And hopefully, with the overspeed and the pace we have in the corners, we can try to get back into Verstappen's DRS, but we have to be right on Verstappen's tail by the end of the lap, hopefully, to make this race work and the strategy work. We're right on Lando's tail right now as we go through Radion. Important here to make this smooth. My DRS didn't open there, but we're now going to go through. Struggling to get the straight line speed to work. Lando holds his own, but now we're going to go through. That wasn't efficient. I wanted the outside line, but it is what it is. All right, let's try and catch Max. Verstappen just making a few errors at the end of the middle sector there, so we've got ourselves within DRS range and brought ourselves into play. So this is big. Now we can manage the race like in the sprint. Difference is this time we will try to stab Verstappen in the back, unlike Lando, and go for the move at some point. Oh wow, the exit, insane. I want to see if I can pass Max and try to cost him time and see if we can drop back to Norris and Perez and just kind of form the battle and also bring Lando back into play. So we're going to try to frustrate Verstappen, going for the move earlier than I'd like, but we're doing it to try and bring Lando back into it. So let's see if my lack of straight line speed might cost us time out front now. Perez has gone through on Lando as well, which is not ideal. Here comes Max. Oh my god, what a run. Pulls alongside straight away and goes through. Into Blanchimont we go. Into the bus stop now. On the outside, which will give us the inside. And we'll give him the Verstappen treatment on the exit. Just like that. This is necessary to basically contain Verstappen, let him get away. For the championship, every point matters, so this is worth doing. We're actually going to have a pretty healthy gap over Verstappen here, so I can afford to burn a bit of battery and keep ahead into the Les Combes chicane. Although Verstappen will rapidly close, I won't lie, but we should be okay. Well, Max is pulling out and going for it into the bus stop. Reversal of last lap, but this time we keep our nose ahead. Max again to the outside. I would love to just tell Lando to pit for the undercut and box early. Especially because we're on the same strategy. Perez pits. Once again, Verstappen goes to move. Just a bit further ahead this time, but got to leave a bit of room on the second apex, as he just kept his nose in there, but that's okay. I wonder if Max will pit this lap. We'll go for hard tyres. I guess we're going to find out. Not close enough this time, so doesn't even put alongside. So we'll hold our own. And Max does pit. So now Lando will be staying out. I'm probably pitting at the end of this lap. So we need Lando to pit here and push. So we're going to get back on it now. We're going to try to push. Battery charged, so we'll go for a couple of strong laps. I'm going to box lap 13 or 14 for softs, so we're going to burn out the battery in the meantime. Perez, third place, 10 seconds down the road, having done his final stop already. I think the soft is a good race tyre, so I'm happy to use it. Verstappen's been battling with Leclerc on the outlap, so I don't think he's gained much, to be fair.
Lando's in the pits. Lando in the pits.
So we're going to do a flat out pace now and see what we have left in the tyres.
So we're expecting rain in about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, dry seem like the best tyre for now.
I don't think we're going to get rain, so I'm going to box.
Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap.
We'll go for the soft tyres. We're going to rejoin just behind Carlos Sainz, Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc, and Max Verstappen, probably. Don't speed, but there we go, that was a decent pit entry. Right, we need a quick stop, quick turnaround onto the softs, waste no time. And then we're going to have to really push on these soft tyres. I don't know if we're going to win. Perez seems to have a very good pace and got a very good margin, to be honest. But I think we can get P3. And also I want to try and get the fastest up of the race. So let's see, there goes Verstappen. We may actually get out behind Verstappen here.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
I'm going to let Leclerc go tactically here. I won't put up a fight, but it means we'll get the DRS, and Lando's right there, so we can work together here to get Leclerc, hopefully. Let's use all the battery we've got, and we'll also springboard onto Verstappen. Through we go. Lando's going to follow. Come on, Lando, let's go. Nope, Leclerc held on. Damn. I want to see if I can pass Verstappen here into the bus stop. That would be ideal for a bit of time loss on his end. Oh, straight through. And we're going to get the DRS. Hopefully latch on to Fernando here. And we can get Alonso on the camel straight. Our car's very strong now on the soft tyres. The downforce we have is just insane. I was actually really strong on worn tyres, like I predicted in the sprint. I said I'd get stronger as the race went on and the tyre wear kicked in, and that's exactly what happened. Right, through radio. This is going to be my fast lap attempt, so we're going to give it everything. Force Alonso to go defensive so we can outbrake him. And there we go. Right, let's race after Checo. We can win this and also get an extra point. This is important for the championship. Right, this is going to be the point, 100%. But that's not enough. We have to win this race. Let's get after it.
Rain is forecast in just over 10 minutes time. Rain in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think we're in the right call, not waiting for the rain. Probably could have put a lap earlier, to be fair, but still. This happens through an Alonso as well. Gasly out. Could there be a late twist in this one? I think so. Okay, we're locked in. Let's get a weather update.
5 minutes until rainfall expected. 5 minutes until rain. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
It may arrive on the last lap. I'm going to give it a lap to recharge the batteries a little bit so that I can overtake Perez and hopefully put away. So we'll take a lap to just get the tyres under control a little bit and also recharge the battery. So we'll just manage it a little bit. Lando's on hards, Verstappen on hards, but crucially, Lando's behind Alonso and Leclerc. They're on mediums, so I'm hoping Lando can make that tyre difference count in the closing stages. Okay, I'm going to try and go for it here. Same move as Verstappen. So we get DRS in the pit straight, sneak up on him now. On the inside we go, and we'll also be so strong through turn one we can break away and get a gap. There we go. Wow, that was executed to perfection. Just got to get a nice exit here and we break the DRS. Got a decent bit of charge. And there we go, job done. Right, 2 laps to go, let's bring this one home. And we are going to get the fastest lap as well, so we'll get an extra point. Leclerc's just passed Alonso, so Mercedes will score a couple of extra points, which is of course not ideal as they're ahead of us in the championship. Lando unable to do anything, although he's right behind Alonso, so maybe on the back straight Norris can go through and get something out of this, but crucially it's been a perfect race from us. Didn't have a straight line speed, but we managed it well in the corners and the strategy. And yeah, overall I'm glad we also done the strategy in the sprint and let Lando win, because I knew he wasn't going to do the same in the race. So overall we maximised the weekend, and that is a great result. Let's go back to back.
Fantastic drive, that's just fantastic, amazing, you deserve that race win, well done mate.
Many doubted whether they could pull off the win here at Spa-Francorchamps, but they've done so in spectacular style. What do you think it was today, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Our drivers are making their way out for the podium celebrations, and it's going to be McLaren picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for that fantastic performance.
A big weekend. We get some massive points. We outscore Perez by 10, we outscore Verstappen by 12, but that doesn't really matter too much in terms of the drivers. You know, it's about the constructors. Lando finishes 4th overall, so he finished P5 in the end in the race. Let's look at the standings though, and the race results in detail. So the sprint, of course, a 1-2, and I'm glad we had Lando win that, because like I said, I could have gone for the move and he may well have lost the place to Verstappen. I mean, we got challenged by Max on the last lap, so Lando could have well lost it. Based off what we saw in the race and his lack of defence, that could have happened. In the race, Norris P5, he actually got Alonso in the end, so kudos. Big result, and he got him on the line by 200, so Lando clutches up and at least gets a place back. Leclerc snatches P4, and yeah, Red Bull 2-3. So let's look at the standings after that sprint weekend, our first sprint of the season. So standings Drivers' Championship, we're up to 3rd. We overtake Russell and Perez, which of course we was right behind them. Lando Norris up to 6th and extends his gap over Sainz quite a bit, to be fair. Verstappen leads the way by 30 points, and we are just 23 behind Leclerc, so already very encouraging, and the last 2 races have really helped us get back in the mix. In the Constructors though, we're still 88 points away. We've won the last 2 races and we've only gained like 7 points on Red Bull, so yeah, it's annoying. Mercedes are fumbling, and that is not ideal because we need Merc in there to kind of take points off Red Bull and take points off each other. When it's just Red Bull up top, it's a bit of an issue, so hopefully Merc can get back into it. And to be fair, Ferrari have shown a bit of form with Alonso, but I just don't think they're quick enough. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Either way, it's progress, and the gap is still there. It's 2 1-2 finishes. That's what the gap is. So if we can get a couple of 1-2s, we'll see what happens. But Lando has to pick up the pace, man. It was a better one this weekend. Much better than the last 2 races. But you know, Lando's had some great starting positions in the last couple of races and hasn't converted. So we need him to convert. So hopefully we'll see him improve in the next few races. But guys, overall a good weekend, a great weekend. It really helps us out in the championship, and we're going to keep fighting. So guys, like the video, subscribe for more daily F1 content on my channel, and yeah, let's try and smash over 1,000 likes on this one. Why not? Help me out, get that target. And yeah, as always, a big shout out to the members for supporting me as always. And yeah, finally check out the videos on screen if you haven't seen them already. But guys, cheers for watching, and I'll see all of you in the next one.